Vit C powder dissolves perfectly to make a healthy drink. Helps to maintain correct psychological functions as well as nervous and immune system operations. Contributes to maintaining the right energy metabolism and decreases the feeling of fatigue and weariness. Supports the production of collagen to ensure the right functioning of blood vessels, bones, cartilages, skin, gums, and teeth. Supports the protection of cells against oxidative stress, as well as increasing iron absorption.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Monday Night Live. I am streaming from the office. My internet seems to be a bit slow tonight, but that's not going to stop us, right? I see we have 30 persons on the call so far, so we're going to give you a few minutes to get some more persons onto the call, make some calls, send some messages, get your team members and get your guests onto this call because we have an amazing presentation for you tonight from one of our male business partners. I know you normally see female producers, female presenters, I should say. So we want to get him ready, but before we do so, we want to get some more persons on the call. We are also streaming live on KCJ Empire on Facebook, so you can go over there as well. Give it some love, share it on your personal page and on your business pages, your groups, etc. Let's get it really exposed tonight as we anticipate a fantastic presentation. As I speak here, right now, I'm hoping you're hearing me because my system, it seems to be stuck a bit. So let me just double check. Somebody can unmute your mic or put a message in the group chat that you are hearing me loud and clear.
Good night, sir. We hear you loud and clear.
Yes,
okay, wonderful.
Loud and clear.
Wonderful.
Yes, Mr. James, hearing you loud and clear.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, I'm giving you a few more minutes because I know for this presentation that you are about to hear more than 32 persons deserve to hear this presentation tonight. So I am willing, thank you, Angela. I am willing to give you a few more minutes to do some final, thank you, Damien, some final promotion for the call before I introduce tonight's presenter. Thank God I made the decision to ask Ian to do this call tonight because my slides are not moving. So you see, God knows best. We had a call Saturday night and I said to Ian, you want to do the call? He said, no problem. And here it is tonight. I wanted to show just one or two things before the call starts and my slides are not moving tonight. Murphy got it wrong. He thought I was doing the presentation, but I got Murphy tonight. All right, so we are up to 35. Can we get more than that? The slides like it moving now. Can we get more than 35? Anybody saying yes? Can we get more than 35? All right, one more video and we get this show on the road. So during the video, send some messages out, make some calls. Don't forget to go over to KCJ Empire and send out some love. Okay, we are ready. It's 8:12, it's Monday night, and you know that every single Monday night KCJ Empire is on. We are live on the page on Facebook. We are also coming here live to you on Zoom. You have the link, put the link out there. I mean, we should have been doing that since last week, but it's never too late to get that person on who might become a preferred customer, business partner, or team leader. So the time is here. It's now time for our presentation, and I want to introduce you to one of the leading men in the business. This guy, very energetic, very knowledgeable, and he's on all the calls. He loves fragrances, but I will leave it up to him to tell you his side of the story, where his FM world business is concerned. So, guys, tonight it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to our featured speaker for tonight, Mr. Ian Keith Lewis. Good night to you, Ian.
Good night to you, sir. Thanks again. Blessed evening to each and every one of you all. Hope all is doing well. I hope you all had a excellent day. And I just wanted to start before I get into anything with a quote that is bouncing off my head a lot lately. All right, so it goes something like this: life is 10% what happens to you, but 90% how you respond to it. And that's Charles Swindoll. All right, so let's, as I transition to my screen, let's talk a little bit about my FM journey. It started in back in, I think I had about 2012 when I first met Mr. Ryan, and I remember those days where I would have actually walked the streets of Chagonas. All right, those days were actually interesting. My only regret, though, is that around the time when my dad was ill, that I chose to move away from the business. All right, I regret that decision now. But as the saying goes, we all have challenges in life, as the saying goes, and it's all how you deal with it. All right. He was unfortunately passed of cancer, and I started relooking my why lately. And I remember a conversation we had, not only as a young man, but very early in life. All right. And he always had the ideology that the next generation should always make it a step better. All right. I would say that we have done well from where we came from, but I still believe that there's a lot more to do. So, as I think about that, let's start with our presentation for tonight. All right. It starts with this: what is our biggest problem? And many of you may ask, but what does this biggest problem have anything to do with tonight's presentation? All right. It kind of holds the theme from where I started my discussion tonight. Most of us never achieve our dream. All right, so we see this wonderful home here in the background. I remember having been shown about, I don't want to lie, probably 4 or 5 years ago, a property worth, I think, I don't want to lie, it's, I think, something like $132 million. It's a self-contained island in the United States. All right. Once my sister showed me, I don't know what the master was thinking then, but the only thought came to my mind when I saw that property was charity. 40 bedrooms, holding I think about 8 to 10 people per bedroom, golf course, mini zoo, football field. All right. And the only thing came to mind was charity, one of my greatest passions. I've always had that dream to write checks in the hundreds of thousands, probably millions, but never had the opportunity to do. But I still look forward to that interesting day. All right. The wealthiest place on the earth, according to Miles Monroe, is the cemetery. And why would he make such a statement? Because, all right, we all have made a significant mistake. And I don't want you to take it in a wrong way. The mistake is we have stuck to tradition. And the tradition is go out, go to school, get an education, get a good job, and you'll make it through life. But yet still, I remember that message from Mr. Miles Monroe where he talked about all God wanted you to be was a shoe salesman, and I laughed, right? And I say, look at that. But the man went out and he became an engineer, and he had so much headache, and he never saw his real true potential. So what does that have? How does that tie in to us? We take most of our dreams to the grave. I've had some dreams. I started off on the concept that I should have a Ferrari, uh, engineer job. I should also have a office, probably 30 stories high. All right, that was the ideology. All right, part of that dream is practically at fruition. But what is happening with the rest? All right, so I want to get us cracking tonight with Sir Richard Branson's ideal recommendation. All right, it's a quote from him, which I always think. I know my uncle was a person who had a bit of interaction with him, and he's a person I know we all admire. All right, so he said, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity, but you are not sure you can do it, say yes and then learn to do it later. What's the ideology behind that quote? The ideology is that don't let opportunities pass. I once had an opportunity to get into government. At the time, I was passionate to get in, but I didn't meet the requirement. Today, I have what probably 20 times the requirement. All right, but the dream is no longer the same. So who are we? All right, you're probably wondering, who are we? We are Federico Mohora, all right? Um, Commonly known as FM World, all right? We have 2.5 million business partners worldwide, and as you can see from our updated map, the continents in which the map touch is all practically all right? I'll leave that speak for itself. So our vision Our vision is to be the global leader of multi-level marketing and to be the number one for fragrance sales worldwide. All right. To work ethically with people driven by success. And here we also have our mission statement where we say we create products which can be shared and a lifestyle that will give you financial freedom. And when I sat back and I thought about why I got into this business, the primary objective, was for financial freedom. Today, that is still the answer, but of course, with a few tweaks. Here, as you can see, is the man behind what we know as the FM World status. All right. And that is Arthur Travinsky. And we'll talk a little more about the company in a lower slide. All right. So tonight I wanted to take the opportunity to introduce you to some of our quality products. All right, this NutriCode line is one of our recent additions to the line. I remember having to do a testimonial just recently, say why I love the company, and this was one of the key things that stood out for me. All right, I always believe in European products. Always, I bought several European products from several companies over the years. All right, as you can see here, we have a omega-3 gummies on the NutriCode brand, especially good for all body um, functioning. All right. You have the eye protect gummies, which I would love to get on soon. Right, good for people like us who code and people who sit at the computer long hours. And then you have the ideal shape, excellent for those who want to maintain a slim figure. All right, so we move along. All right. Other featured products, we have some cleaning products here. As you can see, one of here is a spray. One of these products right here, the one below, is actually the fabric softener. You have the body wash there, you have the shaving foam, and you have something from our flagship line, our pure collection, all right, which is our base fragrance collection. All right, the place where the FM group actually started. All right, so here we feature a few makeup products. All right, the uh, matte makeup, which is popular among the women. Then you have the makeup glow. I slipping me at this time, and of course you have some glittered. My mind is slipping me, but nonetheless, it's part of the makeup brand. You need some extra information on that, feel free to touch base with us later. All right, so what it's time for education. All right, and let's talk a little about fragrances. All right, I do recognize that you would have loved to see some of our fragrances, but due to some issues I have chose to bypass the videos. All right, so we move on. So let's talk about the extraordinary quality of this brand. All right, so when we talk about fragrances, we essentially look at a few things. All right, now I was out on the field on Thursday last. I don't want to lie. Yes, on Thursday last, and I asked this simple question, and I'll make this quite interesting tonight. I asked the young man, I said, if I was to give you a free bottle of perfume now, what would you accept? And I asked either A, eau de toilette, B, eau de parfum, and C, parfum. His answer to me was eau de toilette. Now, according to our lovely little diagram here, you see our eau de toilette is actually light and the light fragrance for up to 3 hours. So if I was to give you a free fragrance, why would you accept the eau de toilette? But he said, and his answer to me was, that is the most popular fragrance on the market. Agreed. All right. But that don't mean because it's the most popular, that is actually the most potent fragrance. All right, so we look at the map simply here. As you can see, eau de in French simply is simplified as water. So of course, I don't think you would like toilet water as your fragrance. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not water from the toilet, but they call it toilet water because it's essentially made for just freshening up out of the washroom and so forth. And you see, it's a very light and delicate fragrance. All right, so we move quickly on to the eau de parfum. All right, most people tend to start here. All right, the average person who know about the fragrance, who know about the fragrance industry, would quickly tell you I would go for eau de parfum anytime. But why settle for something that still has a bit of water in the composition and only gives you 8 hours? All right, I know some women who tell me I want the best. All right, And when we talk about the best, we simply mean parfum, all right? Or some people would say perfume, all right? Strongest and can last up to 24 hours. But if you notice the difference, you see 20% perfume oil and alcohol only, all right? So that's a bit of education. As we continue, let's talk about why this company is so phenomenal. So if you look at my map, all right, you will see we have a few companies here, all right? So we have FM, you have Drome, sorry, which is essentially the organization that creates practically 90% of fragrances worldwide. And if you look on your right, you would notice, or your left, if according to how you're seeing the map, you would notice we have some popular brands. All right, you have Chanel, Gucci, Boss, Versace, and CK, which was actually one of the brands that I was attached to back in the day. All right, so you can see Drum was launched back in essentially. Please mute your mics. Thank you. Yes, and Drum was actually the manufacturer for most of the quality brands. I've heard plenty people told me as I market on the field, but sir, that is 212. And sir, that is DG. And why? Because they all come from the same manufacturer. So let's go on to Perfan. Perfan was essentially where this company started as FM Poland launched back in 2004. All right, that's where this organization started. But the son, Mr. Chewinski, that we showed earlier, Arthur, he essentially went to his dad and said, I believe we could do this even better. So what happened in just 1 year later, the company launched the FM World, all right, which is essentially the flagship, and as Mr. James loves to put it, the engine room of the company. That's where we get in, the business partners. Profan now is responsible essentially for the packaging, care, websites, and that kind of thing. And FM World is where all the essential persons that you interact with come together. All right, all the tools and excuse me there, tools and requirements for making this phenomenal system work. All right. So as you see here, we have not partnered with Joe Company. All right. Now many might tend to say, but I don't know that brand. But you don't know, you need to know the brand. If you're a real fragrance person, you would realize that once you call Drum and you know about fragrances, persons could automatically tell you, yeah, you're in good hands. So there's a conception about our line that we are very cheap, all right? And I may use the word cheap because that is what you're saying. You say that is bootleg, all right? As we like to speak in Trinidad and Tobago. But why is that? All right, so let's help you understand why. All right, so let's look at a little bit of conventional marketing first. All right, so your conventional marketing concept is traditionally this: a company manufactures, all right, let's say Hugo Boss, he has a national wholesaler or broker, he have a regional wholesaler, then it goes to the retailer, then it gets to you. Now, why is the price so expensive? Because you essentially need to go through rent, rates, insurance, staff, profit margin, advertising, etc. for all of those entities. All right. So your distribution cost can come up to like 90% of the final price. So you literally pay for the manufacturing of that product that you utilize. But us in the FM group, we do things a little different. So if you look at our lovely little map, you recognize that, wait now, we cut out the wholesaler, we cut out the regional wholesaler, we cut out the retail mall. The only person we don't cut out is the consumer, right? But here we do it. People like myself, Mr. James, Miss Genevieve, as we like to call her, Golden Eagle, right? We get together with FM, all right, and we work as independent distributors, cutting out all those rental, bank rates, insurance, profit margins, and stuff, and getting the product from FM to us and directly to you. All right. So you see why our prices are so low. Besides that, we use a traditional concept called network marketing. If you are not familiar with it, but most persons know about network marketing. Network marketing goes back to the old school tradition of word of mouth, or as some people would say, back to the days of text and email. All right, so you see how we are able to bring those kinds of savings across to you. So look at our fragrances, all right? Tonight I decided not to frighten you with some of the exorbitant prices. But the last time I remember looking at a eau de parfum in Trinidad and Tobago of a brand, I wouldn't call the brand, all right, they told me 3,000 TT dollars. I say, okay, thank you very much. All right, they didn't know I was into this. So I just said thank you and I moved away quickly. Now, high quality fragrances here. So when the FM group started some years ago, we started with unique fragrances, what you would have gotten on the market. But today, FM has improved significantly. So now we no longer offer anything with water. We strictly give you parfum. The real McCoy, as I like to say. So if you look at our base line, the pure collection, you see it goes for an average of 285 TT. If you look at our pure, which is one of my favorite, all right, the pure collection goes to 400 TT dollars. And if you look at our Utique fragrances, I just got a scent of the Utique and I'm mesmerized, but I got so mesmerized that I think I mixed up the samples. So I can't really tell which Utique it is. It just I'm going crazy, afraid to spray it. All right, afraid that I may be grabbed somewhere in public. All right, but that's how phenomenal that Utique is. So let's talk about this in a little more detail. All right, so we talk about buying for less, sorry, and selling for more. So you came to this presentation because I'm assuming you wanted to do a few things. You either wanted to make some extra income, you wanted to create a legacy for your family, or you wanted to be financially free, among other things. All right, so we have our pure fragrances here when you become a business partner, which you would essentially get for roughly about 190 TT dollars. And you can sell, all right, for 285 and gain a profit of $95. All right. Now below there, you see in red a 31 point in red highlighted clearly. We'll talk a little more about that later. On the left, on the right of it, sorry, you notice a pure royal cost 235 and retailing for $400. All right, I don't know why, but let's not waste time on that. And you see 55 points there. All right, you have Utique below, and you see you purchase the Utique at 800, you retail at $1,400, and you make a profit of $600, and you see 250 points. And we'll get to why those points are significant. So if you look at it off the bat, you see here what you can instantly make profit by just buying and selling to friends, family, associates, and so forth. All right. A lovely part of this company, which I enjoy, is this: the discounts. Your car get it better than that. All right. If anybody could show me something better than that, well, I would say I would start to prepare myself in sackcloth for the return. All right. Just to be a little funny, not to be sarcastic, but I've seen nothing phenomenal like it. All right. You have a company that do only help you along the way. So they create opportunities for you. All right. So you can't say that you don't have um, an option, which most people tend to think they don't have options. But this company does give you many options. All right. So you need to, as I like to say, you always need to be prepared for the unexpected. Excuse me there. All right. So let me ask you a question where I get into the nitty gritty of tonight's presentation. All right. Tell me, do you know these people? All right. If you don't know these people, I would ask, have you been one of the persons who visited Mars lately? All right. Because you must know these people. All right. Some of the people on this map is actually great. All right. Let me tell you who is great. Unit Trust. All right. Is actually great. Pan America will be great. Um, some of the other fellows, however, I only see payments. I only see bills. I only see taxes. Don't care what we do in life. We cannot get away from this if we are to live. All right. So, how does that all fit into the realm of things? It fits in like this. If you look at the structure of this organization, you spoke about thus far products. All right. Some lovely products which I use. All right. I'm going to give you a quick view of some of my products here. All right, you see my NutriCode Kidney Herbal Infusion that I love. All right, this is a new love of mine, because I tend to get sick often. And you have this pure fragrance that we spoke about. But remember, below those products, we saw something called points. Here's where those points come in. So we have a base reward group that we call the Magnolia program. It's essentially about team building. So you and your team work and create a certain amount of points each month from buying and selling products. And as your team grows, your commission percentage goes up. And as if you can see, if you can see my screen clearly, you notice 3%, 300 points, and you can go up to 21% with 30,000 points. All right. So as you duplicate, all right, you have the option to make any amount of points, get the commissions that are available to you once you have made those points. All right. Um, Essentially, the team at this stage has many people around the world who are part of this Magnolia Club. All right. And who are receiving some of the great benefits that it gives. All right, as you can see below in red, it's €3 to €1,000 per month, an average of $8,000. I'm sure that you could do with $8,000 this month. All right, I'm sure any of us would. All right, my budget on any given time, I am sure I could spend 2 million in a month with my objective. All right, so just think about it. Yours might be different. All right. Some of the benefits, however, of that club is you have the good start, which gets you right. You have active recruitment. You have a 300 plus incentive. You have a house incentive. You have a car incentive once you get to certain level. And one of the newest incentives is when you join in within a certain amount of days, you get up to 30% off on purchase of products immediately. So as you can see, you have great options. But let me ask you a question. In this COVID world, tell me which organization is rewarding you with these kinds of rewards in this COVID situation? All right. Let let me while your brain a little. All right. I thought of it, but I couldn't add it. But what if you were to win a Mercedes Benz? All right. One of the company's great promotions at this time is 3 Mercedes-Benz among other cars and prizes for the next 6 months. How does that sound? All right. Win a Mitsubishi and something for a few months, and then you end up with the grand prize of 3 different classes of Mercedes-Benz. So think a little. A company that teams up with Mercedes-Benz can be no fly-by-night company. All right. Now, if you walk into the Mercedes-Benz showroom, which I did some years ago, they watch you funny. Good day, sir. How may I assist you? All right, but they watch you with a little question mark because they scope you out and they say, but wait now, are you seeing it? All right. Now, however, looks can be deceiving. You could be carrying, but you don't have to always show it. But a company that teams up with one of the world's best automobile manufacturers got to be doing something right. All right, so let's move on to the place where the air starts getting a bit rarer. Not rare, but a bit rarer. All right, we have many people who will soon qualify for this leadership bonus, and it's here where the income starts to grow, where you start to get rewarded by the organization for showing and duplicating and helping others to get to your level. So my host for tonight, Mr. James, is one of our Pearl Orchids among with a guy called Ian Anthony, and we have Andrea Belai, who is also one of those Pearl Orchids. And here you see the income earning opportunity is between income earning commission, sorry, is between $1,000 and $20,000 per month, an average of 160 TT. Who could do with that tonight? All right, who could do with that? But let me ask you a question. Let's go back, and I want to go back to a little private conversation I had with my boss. For those of you who probably may not know him, but I'll give you some insight into who he is. I'm sure many of you have heard of Westmore, and many of you would have heard of dairy distributors or know of the milk dairy. I worked for Richard Azar for over 12 years, all right? He told me something some years ago at a sports day, at a company sports day that I never forgot, right? And I want to share that with you because I think that's integral to you in your journey. All right. I remember watching his Audi, and I say, sir, I love that Audi. He say, well, get one. He say, but Louis, that was not bought here. That was a custom-made Audi. So you got to order that in. I say, no problem, sir. He said, but let me ask you a question, Louis. I say, yes, sir. He say, are you willing to pay the price for that lifestyle you want? And that hit me like a ton of bricks. All right, because he said, I obviously see, he picked it up in tutus. He said, I see you want to be like me. I said, of course. He said, great, nothing wrong with that. But he said, I watch you and I watch how you operate. I've been following you as an employee for years. All right. Actually, he was the first guy who caught me off guard because he could remember every single thing about me except my name. Everything, where I live, where I work, what I do, who the family is. But he said something there. Are you willing to pay the price? He watched me and he said, Mr. Lewis, I can tell you are a guy who would walk in the park with your family, run the savannah, take some pictures, throw some ball. I said, yes, sir. He said, good. Now, think about, would you be willing to pay the price? All right. And I don't want you to look at that situation in particular. I want you to look at the concept of whatever your dream is, are you willing to pay the price to have it? All right. I think that's where most people falter. All right. But these two gentlemen didn't falter there. As you can see, Mr. James Pearl Orchid, all right, he's the head of the KCJ Empire, all right, which is part of the team that I'm presently associated with, all right. And not only that, he has been one of the powerhouses of a bigger team. All right. We like to call him the big man, but he like to refer to another guy as the big man. He has been one of the powerhouse members behind this FM group. All right. And have been making waves. Here you see him out, if I remember right, in Germany. All right. On one of his visits to FM World. So, guys, normally people say that this cannot be done. All right. No, I'm not going to tell you it's an easy road. I'm not going to lie to you. Nothing good comes easy. All right. If anybody told you otherwise, go to the Bible. The Bible will tell you long suffering. All right. You would leave that one alone. As we move forward, we want to acknowledge the big brother in the team, the man who actually made it all possible. The reason I'm here tonight. All right. I would have met him, as I say, some years, I think if I'm not mistaken, back in 2012. But I would have exited for a while for personal reasons. But this was the man who have had, I like to say, a roller coaster life. He tells you about his story from time to time, what businesses he did, what he did, some of his challenges along the way. But yet still he is here in a significant role, and he's the one of the biggest pins in this hemisphere. So guys, I'm asking you tonight, is it possible? It is, but you must be willing to pay that price. All right. So let's go to a place where the air is really rare. It's probably like Mars. All right. Person say, nah, that ain't possible. But actually, Mr. Ryan's upline is in this club. All right. She started off on a journey where she and all had her own challenges. All right. She couldn't speak English. She always talk about that. Up to now, you could still sense that she still can't pronounce a little few of those words. But she made us, many of us, look, how to put it, like slackers, if I may put it for want of a better word. Because you see a woman with so much challenges, a woman who is simple, a woman who even had challenges within her own family life, but yet still made it. And once she made it, she now joins with many who are part of this star club. So what about earning £200,000 a month? Think about it. All right. Let me ask you a question. Do you have dreams for that kind of money? All right. I told you as we started about my dream. I saw that property for 1.32 million US dollars. And the first thing came to my mind was charity. All right. Something I think I lost the picture of it. But just there, the fact of the seed that the master planted in it, I keep coming back to that seed. Right? So therefore, I have a responsibility to germinate that seed and get it to a tree. All right. And as we talk about this star club, I want to say something here. You cannot and you will not reach the potential overnight. The old saying, Rome wasn't built in a day, is so true. But as Miss Oliver, somebody you will come to know as you get involved with us, you will recognize that she started just like every one of us. We all started at the beginning. All right. So it's, nothing here is impossible. Yes, we all have our challenges, but you will eventually overcome if that is your will and purpose. All right. So why it is we choose the LMM route? Sorry, because it allows you freedom and flexibility. All right. If you're like me and you're a bit tidy about not taking instructions, but with not taking instructions comes responsibility. All right. And that's something we'll talk about at a later date, but keep it in mind. Decide when and who you want to work with. Run a risk-free business. Work around your family. Use the opportunity to work abroad. And as I can tell you, Many persons here on this call tonight have team members all over the world, New York, St. Martin, Nigeria, other parts of the world. I think some people tapped into Australia. All right. So you have options. All right. You have options. Unlimited earning opportunity. All right. We have just diving on the basics. But when you look at the comprehensive plan, there is numerous opportunities. All right. So tonight, which would be your choice? Tonight, you need to make a choice. I want you, before I go any further, to thank you for listening to me. But I also want you to thank the person who invited you to this call because they thought highly of you. All right. So you need to get back to that person and tell them red door, yellow door, or green door. Now, you can choose to do like most of us started as a preferred customer. All right, you can choose to have become a business partner where you can actually buy and sell products, or you can choose to have become a team leader and build a team and really tap into the income earning opportunities that are there for you. Nothing wrong with having all three doors. All right, I like the colors of the doors. In order to get the real income or already to get on the move, you really need to get to green. All right, so a nice way of putting it. If you look at the traffic light, you don't get moving until you get to green. All right, so guys, do keep your distance, but stay together. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to present to you tonight a little bit of a change from my norm, but based on some thoughts that ran through my mind as I prospected out on the field, I recognized that certain key fundamentals needed to come out in this presentation. So thank you for listening and do have a great night.
Thank you very much, Ian, for a fantastic presentation. I definitely enjoyed it, and I'm certain that the guests on the call and all of the business partners on the call enjoyed your presentation as well. So I want to thank you very much for taking the privilege of doing tonight's presentation. You are a true team player, and I definitely wish you all the best. So what's the time? I think it's almost 9 o'clock. Tonight, I want to do something a little different. I want to give away 100 points tonight. And here is how we're going to give away that 100 points tonight. If you are in the top 30 in terms of points for KCJ Empire, you have a chance to win yourself 100 points, but you need to be on the call. If I call your name and you are not on the call, you're not going to win the 100 points. We will use the number system to choose again. So we're taking a look at the persons in the top 30. My name is there. If my name calls, I will pull again. Too difficult to pull it out. So if you are in the top 30, do you know if you're in the top 30? Let me hear from some of the members who saw they're in the top 30 if you are on the call. Who's on the call tonight? Let's create some excitement. Me. I'm seeing Leslie on the call. I know Genevieve on the call. Who's on the call?
I'm on the call, Mr. Kenwin.
Who's that?
Patricia.
Oh, Pat. Okay, nice. Is Barbara on the call tonight? What about Portia? Portia on the call? I think I saw Shelly on the call tonight as well. I believe so. Portia on the call twice. So for those business partners who have 2 and 3 business partner numbers, and you're on the top 30 2 and 3 times, you have a better chance to win. So we have a number selector, and I am going to spin it. and is going to choose a number from 1 to 30. And whoever the business partner is that holds that position, they're going to win themselves 100 points once they're on the call tonight. So let's see who that business partner is. Business partner number 28. Who's 28? I could go all the way down because business partner number 28 happens to be Karen Norville Bernard. Is Karen on the call? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Doesn't seem like Karen is on the call. So if Karen's...
I am checking on Facebook as well, because just in case she's on Facebook, we have distributors on Facebook.
I doubt she's on Facebook.
Okay.
I doubt that very much.
All right.
Yeah, some business partners just don't come on the call. So if you know Karen, if she's in your team, tell her she missed out on having or receiving 100 points tonight. Or what's her points to help her in terms of getting to a higher level? So let's spin again. You have to be on the call to win. Business partner number 23. So 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. And that's Marsha. Where's Marsha tonight? Marsha is not on the call. I don't think I saw her. Is she there? Marsha on the call, Leslie? I doubt very much. And I think I should have about minimum or maximum 5 spins to find someone. Who agrees? We spin again.
Spin that wheel, spin that wheel.
But then when it's a little bit delayed on Facebook.
Okay. Business partner number 3. Let's see if business partner number 3 is on the call tonight. And that person is Udell Bob, whose birthday actually happens to be today. I doubt very much that Udell will be on the call tonight. It's a birthday. Who says we should give Udell the prize?
Spin that wheel. Spin that wheel.
Nice with the present.
Yeah, I agree. Give it to her.
I agree. She was on earlier.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
hearing yes. I'm hearing yes and no's. Let me hear the yeses. All for yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
All
Yeah.
for no. All for spin the wheel.
Spin it again.
All right, the yes have it. So only for tonight, we make an exception. We're going to give Udell the 100 points. So tell Udell to expect 100 points in her back office before the month is up. So we're trying to provide some encouragement for business partners to get on the call. Get into the top 30 in terms of points. So it means you have to do some work. And of course, you also want to get on the call as well. With the 300 points also means you're going to have a chance of winning, getting a prize in the global networking contest. So let's take a quick look at the global networking contest. You know the rules, right?
2020 Global Networking Contest lasted 3 months, and you have won 1 Mercedes-Benz GLA. But this year, we announce even greater 6-month event, Second Global Networking Contest. This year, you can win as much as 11,000 rewards and 9 cars, with a total value reaching 700,000 euros. Enter now for your chance to win. For every 300 points, you get 1 draw for a monthly award. March, Pure Royal and the Mitsubishi Space Star. April, Utique Perfumes and the Mitsubishi Space Star. May, Magnesium 24 Triplex Power and a Mitsubishi Space Star. June, Hair Lab Care Kit and a Mitsubishi Space Star. July, Collagen Pro Flex Strength and a Mitsubishi Space Star. August, Colostrum Extra Immunity and a Mitsubishi Space Star. For 900 points, the grand final. Don't miss out on your chance to win Mercedes A180, Mercedes C200, and Mercedes E200. Are you ready? Take part in the second Global Networking Contest, starting 1st of March. Find out more at fmworld.com.
All right, so we are in the first month. You need 300 points. You have about 10 days to go to make sure you have those 300 points to get a chance to be a winner in the Global Networking Contest. So it's been a great night, guys. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 8 p.m., we have SXM. Look out for the chats to get your links. Invite as much people as you can. And I also ask you, business partners on the call, let's support the SXM team. You never can tell. You might get some prospects out there in St. Martin, Anguilla, etc. Yeah, so we want to support them. Let's come out and support them tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Then, of course, Wednesday night, we have New York City. We have Leslie Ann Cooper on the call, so maybe she may want to say a few words about that call on Wednesday night. Good night to you, Leslie. I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, you put me on the spot, but that's okay. Wednesday night, definitely we're here, 8 p.m. Now we're at the same time. There's no more time zone difference. So it's 8 p.m. Trinidad time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard New York City time. So hoping to see everyone come out to the cause. Support, because you never know. You may get someone here in the US of A. Get them on the call. Let them know. We have this call every Wednesday. Support SXM, as Kenwin says. You know, you might get someone in St. Martin's. Let's support each other. Support each other. One team, one dream. Thank you, Kenwin. Awesome presentation, Ian. Love it.
Yeah, it was nice. I love the graphics.
Yeah, thank you very much. But I still believe some improvements can be made, but we'll see how it goes as we get along.
Okay, wonderful. It was good. And of course, Thursday night, don't forget Empire Builders, 9 p.m. And Friday, well, I know SXM does something in the background. A couple of other teams do stuff. All right, so let's get on those calls Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thanks for coming on.
And Saturday, product parties. Well, Saturday, hopefully.
Yeah. Good night, all.